Hello, it's December 27th, 2016, 10:14 a.m. And this is the Divvy community meeting. I should have shared the link to the agenda. So I'll put it in
Now you're working off the meeting that I put in there yesterday, right?
Yep.
Okay.
This is it. Okay, so first report is Divvy consider it. We had one proposal that Brent was suggesting about processing data on global change to get some real answers ourselves without listening to the media or the popular views. And I thought that was a good project for a couple of reasons. I think the main thing is that the big data connection is relevant and the semantic web connection is relevant to bring your own ID. And so there's a great deal of overlap in the infrastructure that's required to analyze climate data or aggregate identity information, whatever. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet, unconsiderate. Probably, but a number of things that need to be added. Second report is on the ourchain.cc. We have a very limited participation from the community in it right now, still. And I think, we have a role there in terms of bringing unique identities to the table for the democratic processes in our chain. And so I'm continuing with that in the back burner a little bit, but I've been collecting all the relative art chain links here, and this is the only source there is of these, a list of links relevant to art chain.
So in other words, Greg, I see Ed and Greg are in here. You're collaborating with them in this document, and they're using this document essentially as the current state for our chain. Is that right?
Where do you see Greg and Ed?
Well, okay, our chain architecture document at the very top. You go to the very top. Oh, this is weird. Oh, this is, do you want me to share screen for a second? I just clicked on the link in the meeting document.
Yeah, so did I.
Well, you're at our chain CC. I'm at our chain architecture document. Oh, maybe, I clicked on one of the links and I'm sorry, I got a little confused here. Yeah.
So, in terms of Greg and Ed are supportive, okay? They're not really giving us any official status, and probably the community should stay separate to some extent, although in the current activities, okay, that we're participating in, the community bootstrap initiative bootstrap process is sort of our main objective, is to get community projects a critical mass of support to be undertaken. And we don't have any, we have some current projects that are pretty much, parallels to what's going on in the R-Chain Slack, without much activity other than in the R-Chain Slack. Not official. They're officially our chain because they're mandates to the community. At this point, development of the Rcoin marketplace is probably a priority, and it'll be another standard Ethereum token, which will fit into our architecture, which I'll be going into later.
Hey Jim, is this an overlap area where Divvy has already laid the groundwork for the whatever marketplace they're anticipating?
There is no activity in creating a marketplace at this point. Okay,
in our chain.
In our chain.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, that's my point.
There's no R coins yet either.
Yeah. I know, but I mean, in a sense, I mean, why not create it the R coin as a sister coin to the Divvy token?
Well, the thing is, all we have to do is support it, and it's a sister coin. It's a standard Ethereum token.
Yeah.
So supporting it isn't really a problem. In terms of exchange with Divvy tokens and other Divvy compatible tokens, and it'll be Divvy compatible just because we make it so.
Okay, well that's my point, and so I mean at some point there needs to be coordination with regard to the coding, the underlying, the most fundamental smart contract, right? They would share.
Yeah, we do. It's a standard Ethereum token.
Okay, all right. So it all goes back to the Ethereum fundamental smart contract.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The token contract. Okay, what we may want to do, let's not go into that yet. Okay, are there any other reports before we hit the agenda item number 1? Do you have anything to report, Killian, on ongoing projects?
No, I didn't get to do much last week actually. Like I tried with the one thing for setting up the newsletter, where I was in short contact with you, but
I apologize. I apologize for not sending that. Apparently, the MX records are screwed up at Ocean for the mail for DivvyDAO.org. And I will today fix that, straighten that out.
oh nice.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like It's the first time I created MX Records on Lotion, and they make it a little harder than I expected.
Right. Sure. No, but yeah, that's good. And then, like, it would be nice. Like, I'm trying to set up the newsletter as fast as possible. It would be nice to get weekly updates also.
Yes, yes, very good. I will get that. So the action item here is fix Divvy Dow or MX. Yes. Oh, I put that in the wrong place. Okay. We'll just put that in.
Yeah.
Okay. First agenda item, Inspiral.com, and I wanted to get that video link in here. I'm talking to Tim Berners-Lee. I got delayed. And
You were talking to Tim Berners-Lee, Jim?
absolutely. Okay, here's Tim here. He's helping me with data formats for web identity. And
I feel like I'm out of my league here.
well, it's been many years since I talked to Tim Berners-Lee. You know, he didn't friend me on LinkedIn, but you know, he was at a meeting with where there was some NJIT people, and he said, "Whatever happened to Tim Garber?" Well, I know he remembers me, but in any case, he asked what I've been doing since I disappeared.
So, Jim, when I click on the Inspiral.com, it takes me to ourchain.cc.
Oh. I guess I got a bad link there.
Yeah, I just fixed it.
Great.
Well, the link that you really want to see is the one is the video on the. I think that's the best thing, and that was in the. Where did you put that, in the Archain? Yeah.
Well, the video you sent as an email this morning to HJ.
Right.
Yeah. I started listening to it. I couldn't hear it that well, but. So do you want to just give us a rundown on what it is exactly and how it ties into Divvy?
Yeah, I thought I was sharing the screen. Sorry about that. There's the discussion with Tim Berners-Lee. It's in the Gitter Solid chat.
Do you want to
Oh.
paste the link into the chat?
Yeah, I'll put it in the document. Um, um, okay, so back to the Inspiral. Inspiral is the New Zealand cooperative, which is based on Divvy principles. They've developed a lot of process, and they haven't really made their whole process public, that, although they plan to, which is very inspiring because it's very successful. And,
Oh, shoot.
Weren't they the ones that created Lumio?
yes, Lumio is one of the projects in Spiral. And I've been saying we need to collaborate with the Lumio people because they have the same Divvy philosophy that we have. And
When it's actually Inspiral behind them.
right. Well, they're part of Inspiral, and we can be part of Inspiral also. We can make Divvy a proto member of Inspiral. I mean, there's no reason we can't do that, and we probably should, except we have too much to do right now. We can't do that too.
They don't have a token, do they?
No, they don't. And in fact, at the end of this video, they say they're looking for an economic model. And I'm thinking if Divvy can provide an economic model for Inspiral. Okay,
I watched many of their videos on YouTube. They don't seem to have done much that they've at least put on YouTube in about a year.
Interesting. Yeah. But we ought to put all of their projects in the Divvy toolbox that are suitable, like Lumio, and build a collaboration. It would be good if we had a body, somebody to be our ambassador to Inspiral. So I'll just put it in here, need and to
Now, Jim, you use the term ambassador. Is that something that they have built into their platform or process? Is that just a generic term?
That's a generic term. I mean, it's it's from a social media perspective, sort of where we have ambassadors on all our channels where we have our users.
Yeah, I will take a look at this. I mean, I think this is pretty interesting, and
Yeah, the overlap. I didn't know about them before, but now on the network overview, by them. It has, as you said, lots of similarities with Divvy, it seems.
Right, except they're a business.
Mm.
Okay, but at the same time, they're fostering the collaboration. And so a proof of cooperation is perfect for them.
Right.
Right.
Have you contacted them already? Or?
No.
So where does Berners-Lee tie in with this?
It doesn't. That's agenda item number 2.
Oh, okay.
We're done with agenda item number 1 in Spiral. So does anybody want to follow up on that? Oh, well, you said you would, Kendall.
Yeah, I'm going to look at it. I mean, I got my hands full with plenty of other things. But,
we all do.
Yeah,
We need more
but
volume.
I think it fits in with my role in Divvy. So,
Should we offer a bounty for an ambassador doing Spiral?
we can certainly do that. That we're all about incentive, aren't we?
So how about we just start out with 100 Divvy per month.
Yeah, maybe we should even just start by, just like writing them one simple email, like having all of the managers basically in the CC, and just see like how open they are towards collaborating and all that.
Well, the thing about collaboration is that Spiral is nothing more than a collaboration of a bunch of projects. So it's really what projects we're going to collaborate with that's the key thing here. And we really go through their toolbox and find the areas where we fit best. Because they're commercial enterprises a lot, to a large extent.
Yeah.
Okay, and and once we have a cooperation going, okay, I think they'll be far more receptive to our economic model. I mean, we can prove it in the projects we're working on with them.
Yeah. Well, and we need some house cleaning. I mean, which is always the case. I mean, you bring projects to a certain point, and certain things need to be streamlined better, and so on and so forth. I mean, this is something that I also want to do. I mean, I want to go into the processes that we're working on, and that relates to the task reward matrix that we want to build. I mean, we at this point, Divvy has a lot of moving parts.
Okay, so here's what I've done with the payoff decision matrix, which I think makes it more useful and more understandable. And I think some of your concerns, Kendall, were I addressed in some, changing the way this works. And the reason this model is, they may not need it in the Spiral, but the way this fits is their co-budget system budgets. Okay, and this sheet disperses the budget. Okay, and the way that I set it up now is that for each of the activities, you set a budget. Okay, so instead of setting the weight, you set the budget. And the weight gets calculated automatically.
By the budget. In other words, the percentage of that sub budget to the overall budget.
Right.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, that gives you a correlation.
Right, and and the budget could be in anything. I mean, it's points, just points here. But those points are related to the distribution of the bounty.
Is there, have you thought about or built in a correlation of task, percentage of task completed that could also, I mean, maybe it would if you have a 100 in the budget and you've, completed 25%, then 25 would go out of that, and that would enable you to correlate completion, right, as well as percentage of total budget.
Yeah. These numbers are can be determined by any process we choose. Okay, and that gets down to Google script, writing the Google script relations to these numbers and other spreadsheets.
And is that available?
Google script, anybody can write Google script, but only we can actually program these. Only managers can program the cells.
Okay.
So right now, all the managers have complete access. You can restrict permissions more on here. I don't know if I did this here, but if I protect the range, then I can say I can say that nobody can edit, but
yeah. Well, manage permissions.
Yeah.
Same way you do in any other Google Doc, right?
Right. But what I just did was I protected this row so that nobody can change it except me and Killian.
I see.
Okay. And what we can do is we can take a particular row and have the managers, only the managers, be able to update of that particular row, have the ability to edit it.
So let me ask you this, Jim. Is there, does there exist a tutorial that could be matched with this, or would we have to write our own tutorial?
Well, we have to write our own.
Okay. So, and I mean, in order to, I mean, wouldn't you agree that that's something that will need to be done? In other words, right now we're still very much in development, but we want to try to get to a place where we have some stability, and then we have a tutorial, and then we can deploy it in the toolbox.
Right, and I tried to provide all the necessary information in the comments over here on the side. So that the sheet is somewhat self-explanatory to someone who comes in here. Of course, they have to read the instructions. But
well, this is sort of the comment area, right? I mean, and eventually we'll have the tutorial, and then we'll leave the comment area blank for the individual user groups.
Well, I'm not sure we ever want to make a public update. I mean, anybody can comment on any cell.
Well, no, but
We're not going to have people, anybody coming in here and putting stuff on the sheet.
no, what I'm talking about is when we purpose this as a generic document
I think it should be
in the toolbox.
It should be as self-explanatory as possible.
Mhm.
Okay, and we want a video explanation as well as as part of the tutorial.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to have to do these video tutorials for many of our things that we are using. Like we should, I think, in the end, have like video tutorials of like how, even like very simple things like how to submit a proposal to consider it or something like
Right.
that. I mean, like very like on YouTube videos that are really explaining very simple things like how to tweet or something like that. They generate lots of views because many people, they are not as savvy as we are, and when you're coming from a totally different background, then like these videos are really helpful.
Yeah, well, I got to believe that there's a lot of people doing that. I mean, I had a pair of skis that I wanted to adjust for my son-in-law, and I have a patent on ski binding. I know something about ski bindings, but it all goes back 40, 50 years. And this marker binding just had me totally flummoxed, and so I went and I Googled it, and I came up with a video on how to adjust this particular binding, and it was like, ooh, oh. Once I succumbed to asking for directions instead of trying to find my way myself, I was in good shape. So I have to believe, it's in the culture at this point. Well, that's good, Jim. That looks really good. I mean, I think we're really making progress.
Yeah. So, Killian will initiate contact with them, or we won't offer the bounty yet for the ambassador.
Right, yeah, I
Yeah,
can set up an outreach email, and we can, if you want to do it like that.
Well, that's fine with me.
And please identify any projects we might want to collaborate with. And,
Okay.
And then, maybe put some proposals and consider it. Okay. Because we can't do anything else ourselves. We've got to get other people involved in order to do more.
So you mean proposals related to the particular projects?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Agenda item number 2. Okay, in Bring Your Own ID, Okay, our distributed network was going to be the scenario alpha, our decentralized network. We were going to connect it loosely with the scenario alpha and add whatever components we needed to get the functionality we need. That's no longer the case, and so I've been looking at the tools available, and and maybe I should make this tools more general. So we have Truffle, MetaMask, immutable.js, Graph QL. Okay, which basically gives us, our blockchain identity stuff, at least on the Ethereum side. It gives us a node that runs in the browser. Okay, and then we need the nodes in browser is developed up here, and this is the personal data store. Personal permissions. Okay, so what the Solid server does is it gives us direct access to Tim Berners-Lee. He's involved in it, and it gets us involved in the semantic web and the web ID. Okay, so web ID is the sort of the missing link, where we have blockchain identity and open ID, and we have SAML enterprise ID, and we have Shibboleth educational IDs. We've got all the IDs out there with the bring your own ID, except for web ID. And web ID is probably the most important, and it interfaces us with the semantic web and big data. So I've been working on the architecture and also looking at how this is going to translate onto our chain when our chain is available.
Hey, Jim, let me ask you this. how close are we to some sort of a functional application?
I just have to, get around to helping Paul do the certificates, or somebody does. We need more people. We have to get more DevOps involved in here. And, I think reaching out to some of these other communities will help get more DevOps.
Mm-hmm.
Paul and I did not meet this week because of the holiday. And Paul Rao and I should have done a status report on BYO.
So, but I guess my question is, I mean, given the resources, what sort of a time frame do you think it would be required? 2-3 people full time for 3 weeks, a month, or something, to have an identity solution that would be compatible with the uses we're contemplating now. In other words, uses for Divvy, uses for scenario, uses for a MaxForce forum, for instance.
Yeah, well, the first step is, is we just have to get the IDP running, okay, and use it for access to the Our Chain WordPress or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And that would start us. The freeid.org would be for everybody. So we have to just do that first, and that'll automatically get people access to Our Chain and anything else we do.
And will it be possible to model a risk threshold?
Well, yes. Okay. That's the multi-factor is, the first custom scripts we plan. And, of course, there are multi-factor authenticators available, but what we get with the solid server is your own database under your own control, where the person can individually choose what factors are required,
right,
to authenticate them and have someone act as them on the net.
Yeah, I mean, this is the bring your own part.
Well, the bring your own part is that you can come in with a web ID, you can come in with a Twitter account, you can come in with any ID you want.
Okay.
Then you can aggregate them and create them and control them in your own ID provider, your own data store.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So it's an identity aggregator.
Absolutely. It's an integrator. It integrates, the 25 million educational users of Shibboleth. It won't do that initially, but the Glue support Shibboleth, so we can do that.
Right.
Down to it.
So, I mean, scaling up to that level, what does that require?
It doesn't require anything because we're decentralized.
Ah.
Okay, what it requires is federation get automated. Federation can be a pain in the neck. So we have to automate that process of federating our identity providers.
Okay, and that's one of the tasks we're taking on here.
Right. We want to be federated. We want the BYO ID to be federated with everything.
Right. Cool.
Have you recognized as the best identity provider of your own information by government.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so action item. I'll just put here again. We have a house. Offer bounties.
So, do you have any, I mean, have you identified the, I mean, essentially they're going to be coding tasks, right, Jim? I mean, you're developing the architecture.
Yeah. I mean, it's DevOps. It's development and operations stuff. It's everybody, it's, it's people agile with today's tools. Okay.
Do you have individuals or teams in mind at this point? In other words, if you had a chunk of money that you could say, okay, guys, I got the money, let's go to work.
Well, I don't know who exactly is willing to work, but there are certainly plenty of resources available. I mean,
Okay, so I mean,
even if you go to Upwork, we just went to Upwork. We could fill all the positions with great people very quickly.
okay. So what it really comes down to is a description of either the skill set, right? I mean, you don't have to necessarily describe the task if you can define the skill set required to accomplish the task, right? And then so in that methodology, you find the skill set, turn them loose on the tasks, and keep finding people with the right skill set until you feel like you have a pretty good match, and you're progressing at an acceptable rate.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've learned is that everything you do, you have to learn something new. You're not gonna, I mean, you can find people for particular tasks maybe, but what you need is to build a team and people that have complementary skills that can get the job done. And right. And to some extent, you need what you really need is collaborative learning. Everything out there is new that we're using to a large extent. I mean, obviously, and what I've done here is I have a map of or a list of what we're doing, what we're using. I'm hoping to get some people from the solid community to work, and I'm going to offer amp bounties and stuff. Um, uh, and we need people on the glue side. There's been some suggestion that the server side stuff can be done, the provider can be done without glue. And that's probably true. I mean, we are looking to replace glue at some point with contracts on our chain. But you know, the set of open source tools that Glue has put together can take us a long way.
And Jim, didn't the fellow from Slovenia, Irvin, is that his name?
Yeah.
I mean, he helped us with the credentials and was very quick at it, wasn't he?
He helped us with the dependency loop in the Apache configuration.
Right. Have you been in and I mean, he's definitely someone who we need to keep engaged, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I don't know what time it is for him, but I was hoping he would attend some meetings. He's active in our chain, and he's also active. He's also has his presence in the Divvy Slack, and I gave him a bounty, 500 amps. Which we discussed in the meeting last week. But in any case, it's my own amps. I bought some more amps. I guess I'm a little crazy, but the amps are such a good deal right now. But I bought twice lately, and it went down to 375 here. Below 4 cents briefly. It's so tempting to buy them. I'm not a gambler. I'm not into crypto gambling and stuff like that. But the idea that they've got like $5 million to build a social network, and they've got a vision of Door, which is a great vision of the attention economy, suggests to me that the amp could give a return in the thousands of percent, even over the next few months. It's hard to resist. I found some extra Bitcoin that I didn't know I had, and I bought a whole bunch when it was at 375 or 380. So twice I bought amps in the last couple of weeks.
Are you what's known as a bottom feeder, Jim?
I mean, it seems like a no-brainer to buy it for this price. You know.
Yeah.
And, you know, particularly, I guess I'm an insider. I know what the people are capable of. I also know about their problems.
Right.
But it seems, they're I don't know why, but the traders are trying to bottom it out. I guess they want to feed at the rock bottom. They want to see how low they can get it playing the games.
Right now, it's with many altcoins. It's crazy how cheap you can get into many very good altcoins.
Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, if it weren't for the fact that Greg is so negative toward scenario, I would feel a lot better about it. He sort of called me to the mat. You know, would I use a system created by people with such morals? But, so we have Node.js. Linux, JavaScript, React. I mean, you might find somebody with truffle. I don't know that they need to have truffle in advance. It's easy to learn truffle. Python. So I'm going to put up amps. And we'll try to do some collaborative learning sessions. And I think that we'll open up our Saturday morning Bring Your Own ID hangout to the public. And we'll see what other things we could do. I mean, on all of these things, we should schedule, some kind of learning on, because we have to learn on it. I should. I'll just put solid here. There, that's any kind of linked data experience. Would be helpful.
So these will be video sessions for anybody interested in the topic that can participate, right?
Right. We'll try to get somebody who knows what they're talking about helping us do the thing.
Nice. Because I don't know, do you know the Freenode IRC chat? I can share my screen maybe.
Sure.
basically like an application, a chat application, and this Freenode IRC chat. It has like it is all about open source projects. You can find communities of any open source project here. Like you can just join a channel. Like now I type down here, I type /join, and now I'm in Python, for example. But what was the other thing, for example, that was a topic?
Truffle?
Truffle, let's see. Okay, Truffle doesn't seem to have a community here. Is it open source?
Yeah. How about GraphGL? No.
WebGL?
Or try just WebID. Try WebID.
Also doesn't look like it, but okay, like I mean, there are certain communities, I guess, that are more present, but definitely, for example, Python, you just find here, like, how many people are in here right now? 1,780. So you can just like chat with them here, and also maybe advertise the learning session there, and I don't know, maybe even find somebody that is like they are mostly really experienced people, and maybe there it's like a good source to find people that might be willing to give a session for a certain bounty on a certain topic. But yeah, just an idea. Like here, as you see now.
Try MetaMask for the heck of it.
MetaMask. I know MetaMask. They have their own. They are not present here. They are on. They use. Is it Gitter or? I don't know. But I'm in their chat. It's not in the IRC. But as you see, like even now here, I'm in so many channels. They are mostly cryptocurrency related, like Bitcoin. Here, I'm in the Bitcoin channel. There are 1,000 people. It's like the biggest place where you can get in touch directly with like even core devs of Bitcoin.
Yeah, and there's some history kept on this somewhere, right?
Yeah, like it depends on the channel whether there is a like a log for everybody to look into, but you can also save it for yourself, and then you have the complete history of the chat.
Yeah, I mean there's just so many things.
So, Killian, maybe explain a little bit what we're looking here. Maybe I didn't follow everything you were saying. Is this?
We're looking for people with skills, and this is a good place to find them.
Right. And this is called what is this site? Do you want to paste it into the chat?
Yeah, sure. It's basically the Freenode IRC IRC network. So IRC is like this tool where you can join different networks related to different.
That's the oldest chat there is.
Right, and I used
the early internet.
Right, I used it mainly in the late 90s for video gaming communities, but now there's lots of, I discovered this open source kind of network. So in this kind of network, there are many, there are only open source projects basically, and many cryptocurrency related projects use it as a core channel to communicate with their community, but also like what Jim mentioned for the collaborative learning sessions, I'm sure that platforms have a very present community of knowledgeable people in here that we might be able to win for these collaborative learning sessions.
This MIRC, why do we install it?
Yeah, you can install it, but you can also use the web login. You can go on, I think it's Freenode. If you Google Freenode web chat. No.
Definitely should be in our toolbox.
Right, yeah, that's a good point.
Under DevOps.
Yeah, I don't know. What does DevOps mean?
Development and operations, Jim?
Right, but I don't know what that really means.
Well, I don't either.
But yeah, in the end, it's just a chat application. So it helped me, for example, a lot to directly ask questions as a noob to each individual cryptocurrency community and trying to understand these different cryptocurrencies. Yeah. Because you can.
When you say understand, you're talking about understanding I mean, a lot of them. First of all, understanding which platform they're built on, right? Which blockchain they're associated with.
Exactly. Yeah, like any question from very noob level where you don't even know what proof of work is or what a blockchain is, you can ask, but also very deep questions where you really need someone that has lots of knowledge. Like
Okay.
it's very good. It's a really good platform.
Wow, that's great. Excellent. Okay. So, are we ready to move on, Jim?
Yeah. This is, I'm looking at this ID coin here. It doesn't seem to be very active. Now, okay, I'm in Freenode here, but I didn't authenticate. Am I supposed to authenticate?
No, this you only do, I think, when you want to reserve your nickname, basically. Then you do the authentication. But yeah, now you're in the channel, I guess.
Yeah, I just had this in my browser history going to ID coin, which looks like it's not very active.
Yeah.
But now I want to go to someplace else. So
right.
I type /J.
Yeah, click first down. You have to click into it. No, you're not typing.
Trying to type.
With your cursor in the bottom, just click.
/J. And if I type node.
Yeah, it's still a small community, but maybe it's active. You can just write something. Now you're writing a message, you're not joining.
Oops. Why is it?
Now click on
I'm
statues
doing
on the
something
top left.
screwy here.
Yeah, I don't know. It's somehow maybe the channel. Like if you click on statues in the top left, then you see why you cannot join. The top left, the green.
Oh, it says no. I was joined here.
No, this is all good. Click on the statues, the green statues status.
Upper left.
So there it says you must be invited. So it's an invite-only chat. This is why you cannot join that one. But lots of other chats you can.
So I got tabs here for where I've been.
Right. These are the channels. You're still in these channels now.
And will it remember these channels?
If you download the app, you can remember them. So for example, if I just click, I start the application and I automatically connect to like 30 different channels that are my favorites.
I see. All right.
So, Killian, the user group here, is it primarily, pretty highly technical people, or is there, a functionality there for, let's say, management people?
I think in the open source platform, I mean, it still depends. I guess it's like definitely rather technical people, but it probably depends on in what kind of channel you are. Like there's, for example, like the WordPress channel where it's mainly people that are knowledgeful in web development, for example, but purely management, like, I think there's still probably a niche to be filled, because I don't think there are many management kind of projects that are open source. At least in this network, I don't think there are yet many that there is something like that. So Divvy, for example, also could have a channel in there. And then it would be when somebody has questions about management stuff, you can easily join the Divvy channel. But of course, this also would grow over time. And in the beginning, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's like we are using Slack, for example, which is more exclusive, I think. Like, I really like in IRC that it's very open, but it also has just basically you only have like one channel. It's not like that you can have, I mean, you can have different channels, but it's more, you usually only have like one public channel on the IRC for your project.
Well, you mean it's all, you have to sort of scroll around to find the channel all in one? I mean, what's going on? I guess I don't quite understand. I mean, they don't, in other words, they don't have separate channels like a general or a cafe or personal channels.
Exactly, it's just one channel per project, basically.
So so the projects are essentially like the channels.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. I will definitely look into this.
Right. I think like there's probably lots of opportunity for cooperation because all these projects are open source and Divvy is basically, I mean, it can incentivize activity or participation in any of these projects basically. Like very good, probably, yeah, very good symbiotic. I don't know.
And it's free, and you can download the application on your computer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Go on, outside. What do you do? Eat grass? It's like you had chips of some kind.
Okay. Excellent.
Well, I shouldn't be doing this now.
Yeah. It's good. You can show the viewer as a tutorial how to do. Yeah, it takes some seconds and then it. Now there you can add your favorites. If you click on add, you can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I will do that later. Okay, so we've been an hour and a half. It's time for the open forum. I think we're, oh, I'm sorry, agenda item number 3.
Yeah, I mean, we've already taken care of it. I'll go ahead and set up the working session. I'll organize the materials, and make sure everybody has access. But it's going to be very much focused on a diagram and the use case is going to be a pyramid type of recruitment and reward mechanism. Okay.
Yeah, so that's sort of parallel to Divvy, and this is MaxForce is a commercial venture.
Absolutely.
But they're building a software to automate government processes.
Well, yeah, it's really it's really about developing a civic forum to support constitutional, let's say from a constitutional standpoint. Okay.
Their market is going to be precinct by precinct.
Well, yeah. It starts at the precinct level and it goes all the way up to the very, very top. And it's designed to involve everyone in the process based on real knowledge, the best data available, etc. And again, I pointed out that as far as Divvy is concerned, we like to see open source components in the things that are built on our platform. It's not a must, and I think that there's definitely room for that here, and I just see that we get double duty. In other words, reinventing the wheel. That's not what we're going to do. We're going to develop the methodologies, the applications, and so forth that
Right.
would primarily start with Divvy, but the MaxForce applications would be extensions on the various Divvy tools that are built.
Right. And is it anticipated that Minsky would be part of this?
Who?
The Minsky project, Michael's economic modeling effort.
I don't know.
That's certainly something to look into.
Well, okay, we can, probably, yeah, you mean the one that's on Considerate?
I don't know that it's unconsiderate. We have a project document for Minsky, but it's not public.
Well, we should look at it. I mean, we want to look at everything. So, the goal of the working session would be to have a plan to create the roadmap, the architecture, and come up with a budget so that we can make a proposal.
Okay, and well, if it's going to be proprietary stuff, it should probably go through one of our companies, not the Divvy. But certainly the open source part of it, we would want to do through the Divvy and maybe the tool development. Obviously, modeling tools are applicable to every project. And that would be the important thing that Divvy would be getting out of this.
Right. I see it as a hybrid.
Yeah, I mean, their specific. Well, I mean, the details of their specific modeling application may not be public, but the modeling methodology will be a Divvy tool.
Correct. Yes. Yep. I think that is what the intention is.
All right. Any other business?
Not from me.
Nope.
So, okay, folks. Thank you much. I will publish the video on YouTube, and we'll talk to you later.
Okay, great.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. I think it's
our
going to
last meeting of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, a lot of exciting stuff going on. I really feel like there's a lot of momentum.
It's just so much. It's just I'm hoping we get more bodies on board.
Well, we gotta get a handle on it. I mean, one of my goals here is that if we get money into the MaxForce project, okay, in other words, through the MaxForce project, we're going to be able to allocate that money into a number of areas that's going to support our community. And one of the things I think we'll be looking at is taking money and making it convertible with Divvy tokens in some manner, right? In other words, okay, you do the tasks, we mint the tokens, and then we'll go in the marketplace and we'll purchase those, we'll provide some convertibility.
Right.
Okay, so that the tokens start to take on a real value, and so that we have already demonstrated a market function that we can use going forward in a crowdfunding effort.
Right, and I'm hoping to get some funding from Archain developing the Arcoin marketplace that would help develop this capability.
Great. Well, I also, I explained to John that a lot of what we're doing has an overlap with Scenario, because he stated that originally he was attracted to Scenario, but I pointed out that really Divvy, we're an extension of Scenario in a lot of ways, and we're actually, from an operational standpoint, we're a lot further down the road, and we're ultimately going to have a better governance structure, from the get-go. So
yeah, and I think that making available amp bounties is still a way to attract people in this space.
yeah, okay. Well, I think that we'll look at it all on Thursday. So we're going to say 10 Eastern time. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okie dokie.
What?
10 o'clock
What?
on Thursday. I have a meeting.
Is it a 1 hour meeting, a 2 hour meeting, a 4 hour meeting, a 5 hour meeting?
Well, it should be less than 2 hours.
Okay, you're off of there by 12 o'clock. If you're not, I will break all of this.
Okay, honey.
Good. So clear when you understand.
All right. So,
So that's it, I guess.
Yep, there's an hour chain meeting, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I don't expect there to be much participation.
Yeah.
Who knows? Essentially, I'm just going to report on the Bring Your Own Identity project, and look for and the need for DevOps on the Arcoin marketplace side.
Mm-hmm. Good. All right. I'm glad things are moving forward on that. I mean, that's yeah.
Yeah, it's all dependent on getting the BYOID up, and I think once that is running, the our chain will take off, because we'll have the strong, unique identity needed for there to be democratic process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that will also bring a higher level of security into the project.
And that will require risk quantification.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I obviously you like to start with risk quantification, but if you have something that works, that you feel reasonably sure has a reasonable risk threshold, then it's good enough.
Well, the thing is to apply maximum relative entropy principles,
Right.
in a heuristic that gives you a first approximation. Okay, that's where you start.
Yeah, right. Yep. Yeah, and over time, then you can prove the risk threshold.
Absolutely, right.
Yeah. Okay, hey, I'm gonna run. Happy New Year. And we'll see you Thursday. I'll get that out and I'll provide some backup materials and so forth. All right?
Okay. Great seeing you guys. Have a
Yep.
good.
Okay. Bye now.
Bye bye.